Yo, what's good people? Diligent here, back in the cut, man. I hope you're good, I hope you're safe. First time on camera in a little bit, but yeah, man, today's video is going to be a mixing video. Had a lot of requests for a mixing tutorial, so here's my second one that I'm doing. So I've got this beat here, and we're going to mix it, and then we're going to move. This is the second mixing tutorial that I'm doing. The first one, even though I think I did put a lot of good information in there, as I'm progressing in my production career, I realized a lot of things in there are a bit time consuming, and it takes like 15-20 minutes to mix a beat, and over the course of a year or a day, that starts to add up, and I just want to be as efficient as possible. So this is just me streamlining my process as much as possible. But as we go through it, I'm highlight what is different from this video from the last. So yeah, man, let's get into it. All right, tip number one, and it's going to be your most important tip, and it's leveling. About 85% of the mix is probably going to be done in this process. So if you're ever listening to your kick and you feel like, oh, it's not punching hard enough, and you want to start boosting frequencies, before you boost, just turn it up. Or if you feel like it sounds a bit too harsh, before you cut, turn it down. I found that a lot of times that will solve the problem. But yeah, so the first thing I do is I usually separate my kick and my melody. So I'm going to turn everything down, and then play the loudest part of the beat, and the only thing that I'm doing is I'm just trying to not clip. I'm trying to aim for around -3 dB by the time the whole song is leveled. If I go a little bit over, it's alright. Apologies people, I just wanted to highlight that in the last mixing video that I did, at this part of the video is where I would gain stage, but I don't gain stage anymore unless I'm mixing a full song with vocals. Only reason being is that it's just a bit too time consuming, and I feel like for the amount of time that I'll spend on it, the gains were minimal. But if you want to keep doing it 100%, go for it. But I just wanted to bring that up. Yeah, I'm liking the sound of that. I'm just gonna highlight everything and just move it down a little bit, just to give myself a little bit more room when I'm mixing my my melody. In my melody, I start with the most important sound, and then I blend that in, and I just fit everything in around it. step 2 is EQ where needed. As I was going along, I did kind of EQ a lot, but yeah, so the main thing you want to do is EQ out the lows in your melodies, because that's where your 808 and your kick is going to be. You don't want to have too much mud. And I just say, like, cut out the frequencies that aren't shown in like the waveform. For example, this open hat, everything is up in here from 6K to 10K, so I don't need none of this down here. And then this, yeah, just doing that helps clean the sound up a little bit. In my 808, I boosted the lower mids because that just helps it to bang a little bit more on phone speakers, and I cut out this bit because there's a bit of rumble that I didn't want. But yeah, so this EQ to preference. Step 3 is adding your effects, so that could be your reverb, your delays, saturation, distortion, all of that stuff. I feel like I'm alright, but I'm gonna open up a bus and then put some reverb on that bus and just blend in some sounds with some reverb. I think that'll do it for me for this song. So you just gotta use your own initiative and figure out what you think your track will need. Step 4 is checking the mix. So by that I mean just making sure everything is panned correctly, all the sounds aren't clashing, and the main thing I do to check that is I mix in mono. So in Logic, what you do is you open up your gain plugin, turn it on, and then you select mono. I'm gonna play it, let you hear the difference. You can sound it, when it's mono, everything's a lot more narrow, it's not as wide. So when all the sounds are in the middle, if you can give each sound its own space, when you go back out to stereo, everything's going to be sounding clear, it's not going to be sounding muddy. But yeah, I feel like I did well with my sound selection, so I don't know if I need to really do much, but I'm just going to listen to the mix and see if there's anything more I can do. I think it's alright, you know, but one thing I'll do, I'm just going to solo out all the melodies, make sure they mesh well together. And if they don't, then I'll EQ accordingly. I usually only keep low frequency sounds in the center, so my 808, my kick, I'm going to put that all on mono, it's already in mono. And also if you're 808 in Logic, make sure it's in mono in the sampler as well, so it's not, if it's not in mono, then it starts to get a bit muddy. But yeah, everything else is panned. I got my hi-hats panned a little bit, my open hats panned. And this gives the more stereo width in this track. But yeah, man, so that's step 4. So the final step is step 5. Which is mastering. Usually I use Ozone, but I wanted this video to be with stock plugins, so I'm gonna show you what I do. Usually I added this linear phase EQ, taking around 26. I used to take around 30 below, but I go more 25, 26 now. It's a little bit more conservative, and I take out the hi-hats. I add this plugin called Fresh Air. This isn't a stock plugin, but it's a free plugin from Slate Digital, which you should get because it's actually a really good plugin, which is basically an exciter, which makes the higher frequency sound a bit brighter, a bit more crisp. Let me play it with everyone actually. And then finally is my adaptive limiter. I usually turn it up as much as possible till I hear distortion and bring it down a bit. But you can also use the loudness meter in Logic, and I usually aim for like -12 LUFS. But everything, just do it to your own ear. Like, no one can really teach you how to mix. It's something you have to figure out how you want to mix for yourself. This is just what I do, and it works for me. So yeah, I'm gonna let the beat play out in its entirety. Final step, after you put your limiter on, I would say check your mix and like mix into the limiter. Usually what I find is my like hi-hats and open hats can be a bit harsh sometimes, so I might bring them down a little. Check any instruments in your melody are not too loud now. Let's make sure the drums are thumping, and then you're good. So yeah, man, that's pretty much everything I do. But yeah, man, that's all for today, man. I hope you enjoyed the video. If it helped you in any way, leave a like. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. I checked the analytics, and the ratio to people that watch my videos and who are subscribed is actually quite poor. So if you're watching consistently and you're not subscribed, hit the red button, man. Join the family. But yeah, man, God bless, and I'm gonna catch you on the next one.